So, Brandon, you are the person behind Frank Ape. How's it
Hi,
going?
everybody. Yeah, that's me. Good morning. Hope everyone's good. Thanks for tuning in.
So, just a little bit of information about how this is going to go today. I'm going to be talking to Brandon a bit about Frank Ape. We're going to do a little drawing that everyone can do together. So be sure to get your paper and your pens and markers, pencils, whatever, ready for that. And then we're going to talk to some vendors. And then we're also going to, from there, talk to our friends, the Crafty Lumberjacks. So just to give you a sense of what this thing looks like. This is the first time we've ever done anything. My name is Robert Duffy. I created the Craft Brigade, and
Ow!
today would have been, today would have been our first market of the season, April 19th. But as you know, for the situation that we're in, we couldn't do a live market in the real world, so we wanted to at least do something to connect people. So this is our first attempt at doing this. I'm pretty excited. We have some fun things today, and we'll kind of go from there. So, Brandon, how are you
Hey, everyone.
feeling?
Doing great. I hope everyone's doing good. I know this is a crazy time, but it's good to stay connected. So this is an awesome way to do it. Thank you, Robert, for putting this together.
Yeah, well, thanks for being a part of it. I think it's
For sure.
really cool. So, Brandon, how did you get started as an artist? Like, were you drawing as a kid? What was your process to get to where you are?
Yeah, I was drawing as a kid. It's one of the first things I really remember really being into, having a passion for. Uh, Ninja Turtles were some of my early inspiration at like 4 years old. And yeah, I didn't really take it very seriously or think it was something that I would do as like a career. I sat in with a comic book artist once that some friend of the family knew someone who's a comic book artist. I was really into comic books and drawing from comics, and so I sat in with him. I was maybe like 10 years old, and I went to, I guess, his studio or office, and it was just like a room with no windows, and it was, I guess, at that time, it kind of depressed me, and I kind of didn't really think about doing art after that for a while in terms of like a career. But then I came back to it as a young adult, and it's been the way that I've found that I can tap into my feelings and express myself the most kind of fluidly. And with Frank, it's kind of a cool way to be present with my work, but also be kind of anonymous at the same time. So that's the story there. Yeah.
So besides like connecting with that artist, did you go through any formal training?
No, not really. In school and stuff, I always was into art class. If there was ever a choice of what classes you could take, I always took an art class. But I don't know. It never really inspired me that much. I always enjoyed making art, but I didn't really enjoy the formal, I guess, setting. Now, as an adult, I know the value of those lessons and things like that. But at that age, I just was not receptive to any of that stuff. So,
Yeah.
um,
Well, it seems to be working out. And so
thanks.
before Frank Ape, I mean, you were inspired by the turtles and things like that. Were you doing other types of artwork before Frank came into your head?
Yeah, absolutely. I really was inspired by comic books back in the day. I loved, Spider-Man and Spawn and anything that was like super graphic and depicted, the city. It's usually New York, even if they didn't call it that. And I was always inspired by the architecture and the characters, and just, I don't know. I would spend hours and days just drawing one thing, and then I got into painting a little bit. And there's a period where you just try everything, I think. And then I somehow found Frank through that experimentation, and Frank's evolved over the years, and he's really developed his own voice, and what he represents, positivity and New York and being together and
Yeah.
all that. I think that's really important right now, and it makes me feel I don't know. I guess it's a worthy cause.
Yeah. So you were saying that you like to be somewhat anonymous. How many people call you Frank Ape? No, not realizing Brandon.
Like a lot of people, and that's totally cool. And it's not that I necessarily want to be anonymous, but I think when you have that ability to, it's you, but it's not really you. You can kind of put your feelings out there in a way without being so worried about, I don't know, being so vulnerable, maybe. You know.
So Frank, can you just walk us through what the backstory of Frank Ape is that you've created over time?
The backstory of Frank. Oh well,
His
that's
story. He
always
has a bit of a story, right? Like he's not like he has like a family. Like he has a bunch of things going on.
Yeah, his story's always developing, and it's not like he comes from this one place. I don't, we don't have the origin necessarily flushed out yet, but he's here. He lives in New York amongst the humans and the animals, and he's always discovering powers that he doesn't even know that he has. And I think he's really just about dealing with the challenges of life and connecting with people, and we're all in this together. And I think that's a big thing that Frank represents is the unity.
Yeah, I think what's great about your art is like I've like called it as like to people like the mascot of New York, like it's
Oh man,
happy, right? Like you just like whenever I see any of the artwork, it's just like it just creates like a reaction inside my like it always puts a smile on my face.
that's
And
awesome to hear.
right, like you've like worked with like kids, right? You like have them draw stuff. I mean, I know we're gonna do something now, but you've done like coloring books or you've done like a lot of stuff with the community, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime I get a chance, if I'm able to, I definitely try to get involved. In terms of coloring pages and stuff, there are some actually free ones available. If anyone wants to check them out, frankape.com. There's a bunch of free coloring pages. Hopefully, if you have a printer at home, you can download them and print them out for free. And if not, you can just draw with me today.
Right, yeah.
If you don't have a printer, so.
So we have a question that has come in from a 7-year-old, I think.
Oh, cool.
A parent or loved one, Bia. Why did you want to draw an ape?
Well, an ape to me felt very close to a human, but not quite. There was kind of not totally evolved, but they had feelings and emotions, but maybe they didn't know how to express them. And maybe that's how I felt at that time when I created him. And maybe that's still how I feel a little bit. And so I think that the ape was a good in between an animal and a person. So hope that answers your question.
Yeah. And then Lisa wanted to know, do you have any, well, you've done some murals and we're going to show one shortly, but
Cool.
Do you have one that you're most proud of? And have you done anything abroad outside of the United States?
I've definitely, I've, collectors outside of the United States that I ship paintings and prints and things like that too. And I really always want to I've been meaning to do this where I get a globe and kind of mark on it where the Frank stuff ends up whenever I send it to somewhere new. Cause there's always places that I'm always amazed that it reaches. But personally, in terms of traveling and doing murals outside of the United States or North America, I should say, because I've done some stuff in Canada a little bit, but no, I haven't. I'd love to. And the second part of your question, or the first about what mural am I the most proud of? There's a really large one down at the World Trade Center that's been up for maybe about 2 years now. And it's the largest one physically that I've ever done. And also just the location geographically, it's really a really special place. The message on the mural, it says everyone's different and everyone's the same. And there's a bunch of Frank Apes in different colors. So they're all the same, but they're all different. And that's a really special one to me because whenever I make it down there, I notice right now there's not a lot of people out and about, but generally there are, and it's cool to see people taking pictures with the wall and doing little poses to mirror what Frank's doing. So that's a cool one.
I'm sorry, we have another, you could ask the question.
Oh, yeah.
This is Ruthie, my assistant.
We have another question from Louisa, age 4. Where in
Wow,
NYC?
hi, Louisa.
Yeah. Where in NYC does Frank Ape live?
Well, I live in Astoria, and so I guess right now that's where Frank lives as well. He was born in Bushwick, though. I should specify. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, you mentioned that mural at the World Trade Center, and that's one of the things we're going to show. So how about we show some of the art that you've done?
Awesome.
Okay, please hold. All right. So, Brandon, you've obviously been inspired by what's going on right now with the coronavirus, and I saw this is like one of the most recent things you've done. Do you want to talk about that one?
Yeah, absolutely. This is, like you said, inspired by the recent events of what's going on. Sorry, we got a delivery. Anyways, sorry, back to this. So, there's essential workers out there who are risking their health and, to be out there making things run for us. And so this piece was inspired by them. If you zoom in and you can see that Frank's picking up a bag, it's in my mind, it's, some food, some delivery, but it's his local spot. Cause I think that, local businesses, small businesses are definitely being affected a lot by this. Of course, as everyone is, but I really think it's important to show extra love to your local loved businesses. So
Yeah.
that's what this is. Yeah.
So I really love this one too. Did you make that recent, like as part of, since you've been in quarantine?
Yes, this was a quarantine piece, definitely inspired by being separated from everyone, feeling like you're cooped up inside. I know that a lot of the work I've been doing since in the past month have windows in it, I've noticed, because I guess you feel like you're on the inside looking out, and you could see that everyone's in their window. There's people hanging out as a family. There's a mother and her son, and yeah, Frank is just kind of spreading love in the way that he's able to, and to connect with everyone like that. It's yeah, I get got a kind of emotional looking at that one too, because it's definitely how I feel as well right now. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Well, Frank is always about love, but it seems like a huge theme that you really try to embrace is people being themselves and being original. This is one of my favorite ones too.
Thanks. Yeah. I guess kind of self-explanatory. They're all black and white, but then there's one splash of color, and he's having the most fun. So yeah, I think that it was something that I think everyone takes time in their life to figure out who they are, and having the guts to be yourself, and not follow the crowd. And so that's something that I feel like is a message I really want to put out there. And I think it's important. I think it's the coolest when people are not trying to be something else, just be yourself.
Yeah. So this one's a fun. Like you have this one about stress, and you have some stuff. You have like one about therapy. It seems like mental health is also a pretty big thing in your work, right?
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. Well-being. And this one is just about, yeah, some of them just kind of hit you over the head with the message, pun not intended with this one, but yeah, this is, some of them are messages even for me, just for me to remind myself to stay positive and just put the blinders on and just go for it sometimes.
Yeah. All right. So this is just another one of my favorites. Is that like, this one seems to be, is that marker, or is it done a little differently?
So this was, it's like an ink, it's a marker with watercolor pens on paper. That's what that one was originally. We did a print. I don't think there are any more of the prints left, but that was a photo of the original. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So you have like a lot of New York fact ones, and this is one of my favorites.
Yeah, the Did You Know series are super fun. This was about, I think the restaurant that I'm actually talking about is Lombardi's, the first one that opened in 1905. But I just love New York, and Frank loves New York. So
Yeah.
Learning about it is pretty cool.
Well, we all love New York, but we know that sometimes can be a problem, as referenced in this artwork here.
Good segue. Yeah, I'm sure this is something I look forward to hopefully getting back to sooner than later, is hanging out and partying with all you guys and all our friends. But sure, everyone that lives in New York knows how hard it is to get rest and say no to anything that, there's always so many fun things happening, right? So I think you're going to take a night to chill out, but then you find out about something that you got to do, then
Right,
before you know it.
We'll be allowed to like blissfully overdose on New York once we can, right?
That'll be amazing. I can't wait for that.
So I wanted to also show some of the paintings and the scale that you worked with. This is one of them. And then it gets a little bigger from that to this one, right?
Yeah, this was using some stencils to kind of create these Frank patterns, almost like a textile. Yeah, these are fun. That's a big one.
Yeah, and then you referenced the World Trade Center, and that's based on this, right?
Yes, yeah, that's the image that was a print re-release that was inspired by the wall, which I guess will be the next slide.
So the wall came first?
The wall came first, yeah.
And here's the wall. Yeah,
Ooh.
it's beautiful. Like you must, like I work near this area too, and it's always fun. There's so many people taking photos of it, and you must get tagged often, right? Like
yeah, it's been pretty consistent ever since it's been up. This is actually only a photo of half of it. There's another half to the left that's pretty much it's the message repeated, but with different Franks. But it's too large, and it's kind of a weird space. You can't really capture the whole thing with one photo. But I love this angle with the Oculus in the background. It's such a special spot.
Yeah, so like do you, I guess for something like this, they printed this for you?
Yeah, this was done with it's like a vinyl banner that they printed and thankfully put up and maintain and take good care of. So
yeah, Cool.
Yeah.
And then the last one I wanted to show is one of my favorite things is there is a 3D real life representation of Frank in the
Yes. We made this costume about 5 years or so ago, and ever since I made it, I wanted to take it to Times Square to pose with some of the Elmos and the other characters. And this was about a week before the lockdown, so I finally was able to make it happen. We did a couple photos with a friend of mine. His name is Sincere. He's a great photographer. Excuse me. He's on Instagram. His handle's I am Sin, if you want to check him out. He does this really cool work with lenticular photography. So that's what we were doing out there.
So like I've seen that, you know, I've seen the costume out and about. Like what was the reaction when you were in Times Square? And were you in the costume?
To this day, I was not, because I also wanted to be sidelined taking my own pictures. So I was not, but I have worn it. The first time we did a shoot, I was in Central Park, and I donned the costume and walked around for a while.
Like what was the reaction? Where like, did people want to tip you? Did like other Elmos want to fight you? Like what was like the...
No one offered us any tips, but the Elmos and the Hulks and the, you know, Captain America, they were checking us out. I think they felt like we were kind of stepping on their turf a little bit, but we handled it. We smoothed it over. We let them know we were just taking some photos. We love to take some photos with them, and we tipped them, and so it was all love. I think we made friends by the end of the day.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Where do you store the costume?
Yeah, where is the costume when it's not out and about?
It is in the studio. We have it's nothing special. The head is just kind of a large piece. It comes off. That's gets stored in a plastic bag, and the rest kind of just gets rolled up. The inside of it has a bit of a capsule that almost creates the shape of it that you put on underneath, and so it all kind of just gets kind of pushed together.
We have like another question. This is Mason, who's 6 years old.
Hi, Mason.
He loves your Sending Love print, and he wants to know if you'll have more for sale soon.
Oh man, thank you. Unfortunately, we don't have any more of those, but we'll definitely be releasing some more with hopefully a similar message, similar vibe that you'll like just as much. And yeah, thank you. But unfortunately, no, none of those are left. I wish.
Cool. All right. Well, Brandon, I think maybe it's time. This is a call if people want to draw along with you to get
Awesome.
your paperwork, get your pens, and you want to see things, right? So be sure to tag things.
Yeah.
Instagram,
Please. I'd love
Frank
to
Ape.
see your creations.
Yeah.
We'll repost it in the CB story.
Yeah, for sure. So tag Queen's Craft Brigade, tag Frank Ape. We'll post all of them as they're made. So
and I'll repost all of them as well. So I can't wait to see them.
All right. So
I'm gonna switch my screen around so you guys can see what I'm seeing here.
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. So, can everyone see what I'm seeing here?
Yep, looks great.
Beautiful. Okay, so everybody get your pens and pencils out. I'm going to use black because it's probably the easiest for everyone to see, but you guys can use any color that you want. Right now I'm using an iPad, but you can of course use your paper and pen. I'm using a program called Procreate. It's a really inexpensive, awesome program. If you have an iPad, it's great to play around with. And I'm using an Apple Pencil. So right now I'm just gonna draw Frank, and you guys can follow along with me. I'll kind of tell you what I'm doing as I go. And I guess, Robert, if there's any questions, let me know, because I'm just seeing my screen right now. So I usually start drawing Frank with, a little mountain. Head starts, it's a little mountain there. So if you guys wanna kind of do that, go for it. Then at this side, I'll kind of come down here and make a little loop, bring it back up. I'll do the same thing here on the other side, kind of bring a little loop, bring it back up. And definitely does not have to be perfect. That's kind of the fun thing about Frank, is he's lopsided and all wonky sometimes. And then right around here, kind of the end of the hand, I'll start a line, I'll bring it down, go like that. And kind of do the same thing on the other side over here. And then it's time for the feet. So I'll kind of do a little loop, bring it around, kind of like that. Bring it up to about here. And then I do the same thing on the other side, kind of a wonky foot, bring it up here, kind of connect them with a line right there. Now it's time to do the face, which is always my favorite part. You kind of just do two little circles for the eyes. And the mouth can always be whatever you want. It can be flat line, or it can be kind of wonky, but I always like a smile that makes me the happiest. So go for a smile if you want. Make a little oval around it. Got a little happy Frank. Hope everyone's is looking good. Then I go in, I do little Frank Ape nipples, then the belly button, little line under. I guess he has an innie. I'll do his toes. He has 3 kind of big toes, so do 2 lines there on each side. All right, so there we got Frank without his fur. Now it's time to come in and start the fur lines. So usually for the first, I start at the head. So I'll start kind of do a little semicircle of fur lines, kind of going around the top like this. That's usually how I started off. And then as I go down, they get a little less angled. They're facing more kind of down as opposed to angled inward. Go like that. You can do a couple in between his eyes if you like that. And I just kind of work my way down. If they meet the mouth, that's cool. You can just kind of stop them right here at the top of the mouth. Keep going. And this is the fun part. You can almost get into a mindful state of meditation as you do this. So bringing the lines down. And keep going. So this part is just flowing with his body shape. So as his arms go down, the lines go down. And if you draw him with his arms curved, you kind of just follow the shape of the body and you kind of curve the lines of the fur along with the lines of his limbs. And if you want to do a little more advanced hand here, I'm just gonna, whoops, wrong eraser. I'm gonna erase this hand here really quick and just show you guys if you want to do his fingers. You can do it like this. Start with the thumb, then 1 finger, 2, and 3. You can kind of smooth it out if you want. There you go. You can do the same thing on the other side if you like, and you definitely don't have to do that. Kind of, I imagine that his hands are being covered by his fur if I don't do the fingers. And I definitely draw him a lot without his fingers, but that's how you can do it if you'd like to. Connect it like that. Now we're just going to continue with the fur lines. I wish I could see how your guys was coming along, but I guess I'll see after. You can take your time with the fur lines. I'm kind of speeding it through just so I have enough time to show you guys. And like I said, it definitely does not have to be perfect. And when I get to the bottom, sometimes I wonder if I should do 1 more line of fur or not. So sometimes I'll just kind of do a little one. I'll flare it out at the bottom, almost like he has fur bell bottoms on. Okay. Almost done. A little fur bell bottom at the bottom. And then you got a Frank. And if you want, you can give him little happy headlines like that, little spidey sense. And sometimes, just to make them look a little more 3D, I can give a little shadow on the bottom. So if you want to do that, you start kind of right at his feet here. You kind of take 1 line, arch it, and kind of connect the toes like that. You can kind of do another line back here, connect the toes, or excuse me, connect the heels, and color it in. So just kind of color it in. You can make it black or gray or any color you want, really. And this will create a little shadow underneath him, give him a little more depth. All right, so there you go. That is Frank.
Awesome.
I hope everyone else looks awesome as well, and I'm sure it does. I can't wait to see them all. So I'm going to, I guess, go back to the video here.
Perfect.
All right.
Hi.
Back to Robert.
Welcome back.
Hey, I hope that was fun for everyone. That was fun for me. First time doing that.
All right, do you want to see my Frank Ape I made?
Yeah. Oh my God, show me, please.
Okay.
Dude, what? That's awesome. You didn't get the headlines on yet, but you can go back and do that. I love it.
Ruthies.
That rules. Your guys are awesome. Are you kidding? These are amazing. This is like making my day right now. I love seeing these. These are the best.
Yeah, so if you made them while watching, definitely post them on Instagram, tag Frank Ape,
Yeah.
tag Queen's Craft Brigade, we'll repost them and we'll make
And I guess this is recorded, so I can maybe just throw it up on my stories or something as a little tutorial. You guys can check back later if you want to refer to how to do it again. If you didn't catch it all the first time, you could do that.
we'll make this segment. Yeah, I thought it was so fun.
Awesome.
So Jamie wanted to know, do you ever use a Frank Ape template or do you always draw him from scratch?
Well, generally, if I'm doing like an illustration, I'll draw him from scratch, and it's just in the muscle memory now. But some of the paintings you showed before utilize stencils. So some of those are 2-layered stencils. So it'll be one stencil that's the shape of just the outline of his body, and then another another stencil that's just the black line. So that'll be his fur and his mouth and the outline. And stencils are fun because you can really play around with colors. You can kind of do some color shading if you play around with spray paint and stuff like that. So sometimes I'll use stencils, but that'll just be one. That'll be like Frank almost as a logo, as opposed to Frank, doing something. So yeah. Generally not.
Cool. Thanks, Brandon. So
My pleasure.
Do you have anything in the immediate future? Do you have any prints or anything you have coming out?
Well, right now there's a few prints available on the site. There's the free coloring pages. There's a free zine that you can download and color in and make at home. There's a little how-to video that you can check out on my site, how to do that. And yeah, that's what's going on right now. Everything else in terms of physical shows, everything's on pause. I'm sure everyone else's things are as well until everything gets back to normal, which hopefully is sooner than later. But until then, we got this, and that's a pretty cool way to connect, in my opinion. So
cool. And frankape.com, right?
Yes. Is there any more questions?
Oh yeah, there is a question just came in. When does the color choice come to you when making your art?
I was actually just talking about this with my wife earlier, that I've been thinking a lot more about color in the past few months. The choice generally comes from the vibe of the piece that I want. So if it's like a sunset, I feel like that kind of gives me vibes of feeling a little nostalgic maybe sometimes. So if I want to have a sunset in the background, that gives me that feeling of thinking about the day. And then there's it really different colors evoke different feelings, and it's really personal for people. The feeling I might have associated with the color might not necessarily be what someone else feels when they look at it, but that's generally how I pick a color, is the vibe of the piece, unless I'm doing like a rainbow or a Frank, which is when I just go crazy with the colors, and that's just its own thing.
What's the type of form where you were doing some new ones that had those black backgrounds? It was like a new style you were experimenting with.
I'm trying to think which ones those would be. I might need a reference image. Which one?
Linotype or no? I don't.
Oh, lino cut. Yeah, that was okay. Yes, good thinking. I created my first lino cut a few months ago, and that's just basically taking a tile of linoleum and carving into it. And where you would carve would then be the negative space in a print. So if you take this tile, you draw the picture that you want, and you cut that picture, then you can kind of roll ink on top of it. And when you push it onto a piece of paper, the places that you've cut will not have ink on it. So that'll be kind of a negative print. And that's a really old printmaking technique that I didn't go to art school, so I didn't really learn about a lot of this stuff. So I'm learning as I go now. And when I discovered that method, and I got really inspired by it. So I created one. There are a few on the website if you want to check it out, or even just go look at it. I'm pretty proud of how it turned out. And so that's the black press down. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, everyone can Google Frank Ape. You're everywhere.
Thank you.
Yeah, you started a new email newsletter, right, for people to get access to your print drops?
Oh, thank you. Yes, I have to officially kind of put that out so people can join it. But if you would like to join our print release mailing list, there is a contact button on my bio on my Instagram, which is Frank_Ape. And yeah, I would love to connect with you guys. And if you are interested in what I got going on, please shoot us a message. That'd be awesome.
Cool. Well, thanks so much for doing this, Brandon.
Robert, thank you, man. I look forward to seeing the rest of the show. I'll be watching.
Cool. Awesome. So we'll put all of this online later this week for people who missed or want to rewatch.
Sounds great.
Cool. Thanks again, Brandon. And then
thanks everyone for watching and drawing along.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So next order of business is we're going to play two videos, Aster Aperies and Lila Suds, and then we're going to talk to Lila Suds and Paige for a bit, and then we're off to the Crafty Lumberjacks after that. So let's see how this goes.
Hey, Queens Craft Brigade, this is Nick from Aster Apiaries. Just wanted to drop in and say hello. I'm coming to you from our rooftop apiary here in Astoria. We're up near Astoria Park, and things are blooming and the bees are bringing in all kinds of pollen and nectar, and they're just busy right now. So kind of a silver lining to all of the social distancing that we have to do is the fact that there are a lot of undisturbed blooms and plants out there for the bees to forage on. So they're definitely taking advantage of it today. If you want to check out any of our work, any of the events that we're doing, the honey that we're selling, all that kind of stuff, you can find us at asterapiaries.com. We try to post a lot to our Instagram and Facebook pages, so check out at Aster Apiaries on both. And if you want to check out some of my beekeeping work, I also have an Instagram handle at NYC Beekeeper. You can check out queen rearing, you can check out other beekeeping stuff that might be a little bit more of a deeper cut than what we post on the apiary. But check it out, get in contact with us, and we'd love to talk bees. If you have any questions, please feel free. You can shoot us an email or send us a message through social media. And anyway, that's it from us. Hope you're enjoying the variety show today, and take care and be well.
Hey guys, I'm Desiree, the owner of Lila Suds company right here in Astoria, New York. That's me. I make all these soaps by hand from scratch using sustainable and ethically sourced ingredients. And just, you know, I love having fun. I love using different fragrances and essential oils. I have a little bit of everything, and I just love to have fun with what I make. And yeah, I'd like to keep things very colorful and just something that inspires you to take a shower. Using natural colorants, skin-safe micas, you name it, oil infusions. These are great for soaps. And here's just a little sneak peek behind the scenes, right, of how I make things here at Lila Suds. Everything's made in extremely small batches, made with lots of love and attention to detail. I am a sucker for detail. So there's a reason why I like to make things super detailed and intricate or whatever. For my day job, I'm actually a print designer in the fashion industry, and I also have been very much into baking and confectionery since, I don't know, I was 15. So you'll see a lot of those traits come through in my soaps. For example, this soap has piped flowers and it's all made with soap. And I wanted to have soaps that were creative and fun, alluring, and would get you hyped to get into the shower, you know. I suffer from really bad skin conditions, and for a long time I hated taking showers because it hurt. And when I started making my own soaps, I realized that I could basically do whatever I want, and I could maybe inspire some of you to, you know, take care of yourselves and use something that's good for your skin. There's no detergents, there's no weird ingredients, and, you know, I hope that it inspires you guys to honor yourself, to honor your skin, and that daily ritual that is taking a shower, disconnecting from the world, and just, you know, having fun and relaxing. So that's Lila Suds.
Awesome. Hey.
Hi.
How's it going, Desiree?
It's good. It's going very well. I'm loving this. I loved watching Frank Ape. It was so fun.
Yeah, that was really cool. That was a really fun video that you just put together for us. How are things going for you in the quarantine?
It's going well. You know, obviously being indoors for so long, it's good to sometimes step outside and get a little bit of sun, obviously keeping your distance. But, you know, Leela Suds, this company has kept me super busy. So I'm very thankful for that. And it's, you know, it keeps my creativity going. So I can't complain really.
Yeah. So how is it being a a small independent soap maker during the COVID outbreak? Is it like, you know, are people coming to you? Like, are your soaps like the types of soaps people should be using, or what? Tell me about that.
So yes, so any soap is good during this situation, this pandemic. Any soap will keep you clean. The difference is in the ingredients, you know, comparing to like commercial store-bought soaps where they use lots of detergents and things that keep your skin feeling very tight. I like to focus on ingredients that are good for your skin, are sustainably and ethically sourced, and a lot of my customers, you know, they really feel the difference, and I'm very lucky to have lots of loyal customers that come back because they like, you know, how different their skin feels. And the whole thing about Leela Suds is, you know, I make all these very creative, elaborate soaps, but it's almost like I want you to have something really special to treat yourself. You know, don't be afraid to use the soap with lots of frilly flowers on top. Use it, like, please go ahead. I think everyone deserves that little break, you know, for something special to treat themselves and kind of disconnect from the world.
Yeah. And what part of Queens are you in again?
I'm in Astoria.
Cool. Awesome. And so for people who want to get to know more about you online, what is the best way for them to do that?
So I have my website, leelasuds.com, where you can see what's in store, a little bit behind the scenes. I keep a blog there. I think the best place to stay up to date with what's going on is definitely Instagram at Leela Suds Soaps, because there you can see what I'm actually working on. I do like a monthly mini collection. And then I have like the permanent stuff, but on Instagram, you can see what's happening. You can see my updates. I have a YouTube as well, where you can see kind of the behind the scenes that I was in the video. People love seeing how things are made. So definitely Instagram is like, that's where I'm at all the time. There's also Facebook.
Cool. And someone just asked a question. How did you get into soap making?
I got into soap making a couple years ago because I actually suffer from severe eczema. I take really strong medication for it, that's why my skin looks somewhat normal. But it actually really hurt to take showers because I had it all over my body. So I started reading up on the science of soap making because it is chemistry. I spent like a whole year just researching different oil properties and ingredients and all that stuff. And then a year later was when I made my first soap. And then I started playing around with different techniques, the way you pour your soap, or there's a lot of baking techniques that kind of carry over to the creative side of soap. And that kind of blew up in a way, and people got really excited about it. And it's been a year now since the company was like officially formed. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thanks for making that video and talking to us.
Thank you for having me.
Put you on mute, but hang out because I'm going to talk to our friend Paige now. Okay.
Yeah. Awesome.
Hello.
Paige,
Hello.
how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So, you know, when I talk about the market to people, the Queen's Craft Brigade, I always say that if the Queen's Craft Brigade was a mall, then Paige Candles Company would be one of our anchor stores, like a Macy's. Now, like that is, you take us on a very small scale, and I know that like that is not, not to say that you are a very small, very independent business, but like you have so many customers who are pretty loyal to you. How has the conversations been going with them since the quarantine?
Well, originally I temporarily closed my shop, but then when I reopened it, I was humbly reminded that a lot of people really enjoy my work, which is really awesome, especially because I have partnered with City Harvest. So at first I was like, oh, I hope I have enough to donate. And I'm pretty, at this point, satisfied that that will happen. So it's just nice to know that people are not only enjoying my products, but supporting me as a small business. So I guess the conversations have just been very encouraging, and even people who aren't buying from me, they're just like, how are you? How's everything? How's your business? So it's really nice to hear.
Yeah. So you mentioned the City Harvest. Can you kind of tell people what that relationship is and what you're doing actually?
Sure. So generally, I donate to nonprofit organizations, usually for organizations that donate or offer art supplies or art programs to Bronx youth. But in this time of crisis, since everything's closed, I was trying to find an organization that would directly help people in all boroughs, not just the Bronx. So I just took about a week and a half trying to find a reputable organization, and I reached out to City Harvest. And they were super quick to reply, which was really awesome. A lot of times when I try to donate or work with an organization, it's a very long process. But I just reached out. I've talked to a woman, Olivia, and we just set it up. So yeah, it really is, because I really love how they not only donate food to different I guess like organizations like that offer food, for example, pantries or shelters, but they have mobile markets. And they also have programs where they only offer food to people who live in low income housing, so people who are in severe desperate need. So I thought this was a great place to team with, or a great organization to team with.
Cool. Awesome. Well, I could spend a whole hour just talking to you about candle making, but for people who just maybe don't know about your business, can you give them just a high level of about your business and what you offer?
Sure. Everything candles. So I make vegan soy wax candles. I teach candle making classes. Yeah, that's, I guess, the whole plethora of it. I also do something called private labels. So companies reach out to me so that I can create their own candle brands. And yeah, just independent projects, art projects. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, cool. And if people want to get their hands on some of the candles, what's the best way?
Sure. My website, www.pagescandleco.com. You can see how I create the candles on Instagram, Pages Candle Co. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Or actually, locally, let me not forget about that. In Casa Decor in Astoria, the Brass Owl in Astoria, and Stay Forever in Ridgewood, Queens.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thanks for stopping by, Paige and Desiree.
Hey, thank you for hosting this. You're the best.
You're the best. All right. We'll see you guys later. And I think up next are our friends, the Crafty Lumberjacks.
Hi. Oh.
Hi.
You are on.
Oh.
All right, we're here.
Hello, you're here.
We're here. Hi.
How are you guys doing?
Good.
Great. Thank you so much for putting this together.
This is awesome. Here's our Frank Ape.
Yes.
Mine looks more like Grimace from Burger King, or is it McDonald's?
Yeah.
In my defense, I had a cat on me, so.
That is amazing.
I don't know if I'd say that, but.
I mean, you know, compared to mine, you guys are winning.
It's ours.
Yeah. Yours came out so cute.
See, look, here's.
Oh my gosh, yes. Look at those legs.
So good. Yes.
Cool. So, you know, there was like a question that was similar to Brandon, where he was saying that, you know, people don't know really his name. Sometimes they confuse them as just he's Frank Ape. So do they know that? Do people know your first names of Andrew and Dennis?
I don't know. I think like sometimes, I think it's more that they don't know who is who. They might know like Andrew and Dennis, but they don't know which is which. So we like to say like the tall and the small. That's how we like to say
Andrew's the tall, I'm the small.
Yeah. But there's so many people like through Instagram nowadays. It's like, I never take offense. If people don't know my name, it's like, I'm fine with that. It's like,
Yes.
like, how can anyone remember?
Right. And what's the name? There is a third on your couch over there.
Yes, Teddy.
Yeah, this is Teddy Kruger.
He's been watching the whole time.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So I had some questions for you guys before we got into the craft. First of all, how are you guys dealing with the quarantine?
Good.
Yeah.
It's tough, I'm sure, like it is for most people. But we're doing okay. I mean, we've been homebodies our whole life in this apartment, trapped here, prisoners in our own home. So things haven't changed that much for us.
Yeah, I think most New Yorkers can just relate to just not having an outdoor space is probably the hardest part.
Yeah, that's been tough.
You know, we love Astoria so much. We've been talking about moving for years now, just to like have a home, to have a yard, but it's always a story that keeps us here. So not having that is probably the most difficult part. But, you know, we feel really lucky to have an apartment, to have food. So, you know, we really can't complain.
Yeah. Cool. So I had some questions about your origin stories. You were definitely Crafty Lumberjack singular before you became plural. So where did you guys both grow up, and then how did it come together?
Well, I grew up on Long Island, about 40 miles from here. My mother was a crafter, and I used to help her with her craft fairs, kind of similar to Queen's Craft Brigade in a sense. And I would kind of be her little assistant. And then I got involved with theater, and I went to school for theater. And then I booked, or do you want to talk about your?
Oh, sure. I grew up like right outside of DC, and yeah, my mom, I grew up watching her sew, knit, and I just got the crafting bug from her, and I just found this love of the holidays, and I always wanted to craft around them. And then, yeah, we met on the national tour Fiddler on the Roof, and we kind of found that we both loved crafting, and we started by making Valentines for our cast members. And it kind of spiraled from there.
Yeah. And so when you started your blog in 2012, is that right?
My gosh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
So when you started to blog, what are like, did you have like, oh, this is just something we'll do so our friends can see what we're doing? Like, or were you like, oh, maybe we could turn a blog in 2012 into something? Like, what were you guys thinking when you started that?
No, well, when we started, it was mostly to keep in touch with people we met along like our journeys on tour. So it was to keep in touch with our friends and kind of the locals. And now they don't follow us. They don't follow the blog at all. But yeah, it just kind of kept growing and growing and growing. But we never saw crafting as a career or our life. But we're so grateful for it. And I think something that we've learned is kind of just follow all your different passions, and you never know which one is going to kind of take off and kind of help you support yourself.
Yeah, it's always hard because we both still love acting. We both have our teachers as well. So we have so many things that we want to do. But yeah, it's like we never saw this as something we wanted to pursue, but we definitely are following it now and are very grateful for that. So yeah, it's about following those passions you might not even think you should be following. Especially like nowadays where everything has just shifted so much. It's like finding something to bring you happiness, something to,
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, well, so speaking of that, someone, Lisa wants to know, do you find living in Queens inspiring for crafts?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, our neighborhood inspires us so much.
Yeah, and there's such a great community of local makers who inspire us as well. And also just being like right outside of Manhattan, there's a lot of inspiration for us.
Yeah, I mean, QCB, like we never sell, but we love to go and just like walk around, buy, and really
spend
get
all our
inspired.
money. We're just like, yeah, we'll take it. We'll take it.
But yeah, tons of inspiration.
What was like the first kind of larger notification of like someone like was HGTV the first kind of organization that noticed you guys and said, oh, let's maybe put you on air? Or what was the first step from just a blog of making crafts to a little bit bigger?
Yeah, that was, we had actually, because we kind of build up this large Instagram following, not that large, but, and that's how HGTV kind of noticed us. And then we kind of worked for them on a trial basis for a Halloween crafts and Christmas crafts. And then they thought it went really well. So right after that, they gave us a job, which we're so grateful for, even to this day. We're going on our 4th year now with them.
Wow.
And we do digital content for them, which is shared on their YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. And that was kind of like the first, the first gig with Crafty Lumberjacks.
I mean, I remember getting that email. It was,
oh my gosh,
it was crazy. You know, we both
we're like, is this real? We're like, should we reply or is this fake? You know? And then we're like, show me the money. Show me the money.
Yeah. That's got to be how it is, right? Like, because you've been on Rachel Ray and a bunch of shows. Every time you must be like, is this real?
Yeah. I know.
Oh
it doesn't seem real. It doesn't seem real.
Especially with those things. And then meeting these icons in person, it's really when you realize you're like, oh, this is so real. It feels like unreal. It's so real. I don't know. It's not gonna make sense. I don't know.
Yeah, it's so real. It's unreal.
How you guys you mentioned you live in Astoria and you make a lot of stuff. So what's your storage tips for people who might be a little obsessed with crafts? Like, how do you keep it together?
You know, that's one of our hugest struggles living in Astoria. Yeah,
it's tough.
We have 3 closets. They're all filled to the brim. We really like to make new content every year. So for every holiday, we have like tons more crafts.
Yeah, I think now we have 6 Christmas trees.
Yeah, we have
like our holiday trees.
So we keep stuff at his mom's house.
My mom's basement has become our storage space.
We also have storage space with Make Space, which is great because they like come and pick stuff up. But we just have stuff stuffed everywhere.
Yeah, it's in every nook and cranny.
Yeah, actually, we actually have a video that we just posted on our new blog post
of like kind of showing, and it actually was right after we went to Queen's Craft Brigade, showing like where we kept all our supplies, all our materials, and how much of a mess it actually is.
Yeah. But it's something we struggle with because we really want to be minimalists. You know, we want that like ease, but it's just not really possible at the moment.
Do you have a favorite season you like to craft for?
I would say Halloween. I mean, Halloween and Christmas are definitely our 2 favorites. I feel like Christmas has more of like a polished feel to it, where Halloween we can really just be as over the top as we want, really like nitty gritty. If things don't turn out right, it's like, well, it's Halloween. It's supposed to look like disheveled. You know?
Yes, yeah.
So my favorite's Halloween.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. From like September through December is like our favorite time.
Yeah, definitely.
And then it's like the January blues hits, and you're like,
we actually started decorating for Halloween in August. It's like it's so early, but it just brings us joy.
Yeah.
I'll take, you know, I don't know.
So Ruthie wanted to know, who did you each play in Fiddler?
Oh, I played Matilda Taylor.
And I was in the ensemble. I was Mordka, the innkeeper.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes, I also understudied Laser Wolf, and I went on. We actually did the tour for 2 years. And then I was understudy for the 2nd year, and I went on for Laser Wolf about like 30 times.
Yeah. I mean, that show, I think we did that show almost 1,000 times, and that show is just, it's
so great.
I love that show.
Did you see the Yiddish version?
No.
Is
it good?
I'm not a crier, and like I'm very love-hate on musicals in general, but like I started watching, I went to it, and like I was like 5 minutes. I was just like in tears the whole time.
It's that kind of show. It gets you. It gets you.
No matter like where you come from, you can relate to that show 100%. That's like the beauty of it.
Yeah, totally. It's an amazing show. That's so cool.
Cool. Well, so what are you? Desiree has a question. What are some of your favorite materials to work with or transform when making crafts?
Oh.
Well, we love to do like upcycle projects. So a lot of we turn our trash into treasure.
Yeah.
You know, just because
storage.
Yeah, storage, and we think that's more accessible for everyone. But yeah, we love a hot glue gun.
Yeah, a nice pair of scissors, a hot glue gun, yeah, recyclables.
Yeah, we kind of dabble in a little bit of everything. So,
yeah.
You know, we don't want to choose favorites. We don't want to make them upset.
I do love a glue gun, though. I feel like a glue gun is like so fun.
Yes.
Cool. So what kind of craft do you have planned for us right now?
Well, so we were trying to figure out what to make, and sometimes that's a little bit of a dilemma just because, you know, there's a big age group and it's like, what do people really want? So we were trying to think of what we want in our apartment right now, and that's houseplants. And we live on the first floor and our lighting is terrible.
Awful. We cannot keep any plant alive in here.
Yeah.
And also now with the cat, you know, a lot of the plants are poisonous. So.
Oh my God, he loves to eat plants. It's like, he's like a vegetarian. He's like always like munching on these plants. We have to get rid of all our plants. So we're going to be making a
cardboard.
Yeah, a cardboard cactus.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's see it.
Okay. Yeah, we're just going to show you some steps. We actually have a template on our blog. You can print this out and use it as a guide to cut out your cacti trunk here.
Yeah, but if you can draw Frank Ape, you could totally just freehand this. So for each cactus, you need 2 matching pieces, and then you want to cut slits. One slit coming from the top, and then one slit coming from the bottom. And you just want to make sure that slit is, can you see me? I'm going to like stand up. You just want to make sure that slit is big enough for the cardboard piece to fit through. So I'm just going to like cut, I don't know, not even 1/4 of an inch. Can you see that? Oh my gosh, there we go. And that's even a little bit too big, but don't worry because we're just going to hot glue them together. So it'll work. So you just want to make sure you go all the way down to the middle.
We know what you're thinking. This looks like a bat.
I thought it looked like a falafel.
Oh, falafel? That's a big falafel.
That's how I like them. Okay, then you're just going to piece them together just like this. And then you can just hot glue it in place. Just be careful with your fingers. Oh my gosh, sorry, I cannot see. Here we go. And for our pot, we just put 3 of them together. So we just made 3 of these. I mean, it really is pretty quick. And this is great because it used a lot of our Amazon boxes.
Yes. And then you paint it. So cute, right? And then we cut little pieces of thread here.
Yeah.
And this is where you can either like kind of go all in or just kind of keep it simple. You can even do like little spikes with a marker.
Oh yeah, that'd be really cute.
We wanted it to be, you know, we like to do time-consuming crafts that we can pop on our favorite shows, a movie,
like
and kind of sit there mindless, kind of like Frank Ape was saying. And then you can either draw on your little spikes here like that, you see, with a marker.
Yeah, or you can cut like a little piece of thread and then, I mean, you need to cut about, I don't know.
Oh God.
Maybe like 6 feet for each. Yeah, probably even more.
Yes.
And then you just want to take your thread and dip it into a little bit of glue and then just place it right into the crease on the edge here.
Yes.
And then...
So because we didn't want to rush out to the store and we were using what we had, we thought it'd be cute to use some black beans, dry black beans for the base. You could use rice, rocks if you have, like fish rocks.
You could even just glue these into the bottom, which would be fine. So this is what they look like done. We also added just a little bit of string. We just wrapped the string around the cactus just to give it just a little more dimension and more detail. So I would say each one of these cacti, wait, is it, yeah, cacti, I don't know.
I never know.
Took about maybe 30 minutes to put each of like the spikes on, but
thread,
I mean, we have so much time nowadays.
I know, we don't have anything else to do.
Yeah, so then you just like stick it in.
It's so cute.
Yeah. We also made
Great.
We made this one out of felt. And
yeah, this is a felt snake plant.
And basically all we did was do like, we just cut out triangles and then glued them into this pot. So
this way we can have houseplants in our apartment all year long.
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
That's amazing.
Yes, we have the full tutorial on the blog with the template, so you could always go check it out, the steps.
Yeah.
You know, we just want to inspire, give you something to do while you're waiting around.
Yeah, and feel free if you have any questions just to reach out.
Yeah, yeah, we'll share all those links in an email to everyone after the event. So that was really beautiful. Thank you so much for making that.
Oh my gosh,
you're welcome.
So you mentioned that you had like a lot of time on your hands. Is there any types of things that you may not have tried to attempt in your past because you thought it was too complicated or too time consuming that you're now kind of giving a shot?
Oh, not really. I mean, actually though, we've been kind of making updates to our apartment. So we've been kind of doing some interior designers. We just did our kitchen. We did some peel and stick wallpaper and new shelves. We've kind of, because we change out our space so often, we like to kind of have a blank canvas, but we wanted it to feel a little more lived in and more of our own. So we worked on the kitchen. Our next step is the living room, which we're hopefully going to start next week.
Yeah, we've been here for 8 years, and I don't know, we've just become like so comfortable with how the apartment looked, and we just felt like we really needed to refresh our space, which I feel like during like these times, it's kind of nice to just, you know, have something new and something that you like since we're here all the time now.
Cool. All right, I've got a couple of questions that came through from Carly. Do you have plans for crafting future house plants? And how do you decide the medium for the snake plant and cacti?
Oh my gosh. What was the first question? The future what?
Do you have any plans for crafting future house plants?
Oh yeah, we're totally into this, and we think it's like popular and trendy. We might do like little succulents. And
I want to do a big one.
Oh yeah.
I feel like our apartment needs like a big plant, but with Teddy, we're really nervous about that, and we have like no sunlight. So I think like something large scale would be really fun. And the way we picked out the materials really was what we had.
Yeah. So the cardboard.
Yeah, the cardboard we had, and felt is like one of our favorite things to work with as well. It's just so versatile. So, and it's stiff, so it could stand up on its own, which was great. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Lisa wanted to know, have you ever considered teaching small craft classes to people, either in person or online?
Yeah, actually for a while we were doing like pop-up craft classes around Manhattan and the city of Brooklyn, all over.
But that's kind of put on hold. Online is a great idea. We've kind of been talking about that.
I know. We always try to talk about how we can kind of continue to evolve, continue to grow, but it's so hard because we're dabbling in so much and we're already kind of overloaded with all of the work and opportunity that we have, which is amazing. But, you know, it's just the two of us. We do everything on our own. We don't have any virtual assistants. We don't have any help.
Also, I feel like lives kind of like make us nervous. I don't know why.
Like, my heart is pounding. My heart is pounding.
So we're always like, maybe we'll shy away from that for now. But it might.
Yeah, but that is a goal to.
Definitely
one of the goals.
Maybe around the holidays we should.
Yeah.
I think online would work for you guys, especially, and you know, in person whenever that happens. Who knows when that's going to be?
Yeah. So sad.
You know, I was wondering, you guys do a lot of television appearances and you're always doing a crafts. What is like the fastest turnaround of like, can you be on the show to having to like put something together? Like, what does that look like for your schedules?
Oh, you know, it's kind of all over the place. Sometimes it'll be like 3 weeks in advance. Sometimes it'll be just a few days in advance. Those experiences are always a whirlwind for us.
Yeah.
You know, it's always, you know, most of the time they want an abundance of ideas, and then they want a handful of crafts, and then 2 minutes before we're going on the air, they decide to like switch things up. So we always like, when we like walk out of the studio, we're like, did that just happen?
Yeah.
Like it always just feels like a blur.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it could be from anywhere from 3 weeks to like 3 days. But we work with like different producers, and they're usually very on top of it, and they help guide us and hone us in, which is great. But yeah, it's really exciting. super fun.
It's like this rush that we get that we really like. So it's, we always have like a good time doing it.
Cool, awesome. So what's like on deck for you guys besides just being in your apartment? Like, is there anything that you are putting any crafts out soon, or what's going on?
Yeah, we try to have like a new project every week. Last night we actually just did some quarantine crafts.
Yeah.
Or like, yes.
Yeah, crafts that are like actually kind of about like quarantine.
Yes. But we're still doing content for HGTV, but now that's switching a little bit. Now they're doing like HGTV at home. So we're still kind of finessing all those details because we don't really have equipment. You know, we have a ring light, whatever. But we do things from our phone. So we're all trying to get on the same page and how that could be happening and evolving.
So it's kind of like in this like weird shifting area right now.
And then the big project will be our living room.
Nice. So CraftyLumberjacks.com, Instagram, are those spots? Are those the best spots for people to follow you?
Yeah, totally.
That's great.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for spending time to do this with us. It was really awesome.
Yes, it was so great seeing everybody. I
this.
know. We miss everybody.
Yeah. I know. We miss you guys.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to say goodbye to you guys, and then I'm going to play a couple videos from some other vendors, and then we'll talk to some other vendors who might be online still. Cool?
Sweet.
Like plan?
Bye. Be watching.
All right.
Bye.
Hi, I'm Rebecca from R+D. I am a digital fabrication designer that focuses on sustainable materials. Although I'm new to the Queens Craft Brigade scene, I've been in business for over 2 years now and have lived in Sunnyside, Queens for over 10. The primary R+D brand is Kitsch Please, 3D printed jewelry that is bold, colorful, and plant-based. R+D is about having fun. We use a lot of puns in our product names and social media posts. We want people to be able to find something that is affordable and unique to give as a gift to brighten someone's day. Add an accessory that makes them feel unstoppable, or be able to inspire someone to think differently about sustainability and manufacturing. 3D printing is a type of additive manufacturing. I design every piece digitally and render it in 3D. When it prints, it does so layer by layer, translating that digital information into a physical form. I take a lot of care to create fine lines and details in all of my prints. Each layer is about the thickness of a sheet of paper. I only print in a material called polylactic acid, or PLA. It is derived from natural resources such as corn husks, cassava roots, or sugarcane. In a commercial composting facility, it will take about 6 months to fully break down again. I have lots of designs, over 200 in my catalog, that range from minimalist angles and local landmarks to cutouts of Beyonce in her Single Ladies video. They are all lightweight, easy to wear, and use nickel-free hooks and chains. There's something for everyone, and I'm happy to help you find it or create something that is completely customized. You can find more on my Instagram or on my website, www.r+ddesigns.com.
Hi everybody, this is George from Glendale Woodcrafting. Just making a brief video here showing you some of the new stuff I've been working on for the upcoming markets. I got a new style of wine stopper corkscrews here. It's a 2-piece item, top screws off the bottom. This is a coffee grinder I developed. It's a box with the mason jar inside, and I did some burning the letters in on there. This is an assortment of pens. I have wood and acrylic pens. There's some new styles here, some new woods. This one is actually made from a piece of the Coney Island boardwalk. Some vintage style bottle openers, and my new type of earrings I'm making, they're a swirl earring, and some new rings I'm also working on. Thanks, have a good day. You can find my stuff on Etsy at Glendale Woodcrafting. Thank you.
Hey everyone, hey Queens Craft Brigade, this is Jennifer, aka Ebu Textiles, checking in to say hi and giving you a little update. Like everybody else, just been quarantining, trying to make the best of everything, trying to stay creative. So I'm just going to show you a little bit of what I've been working on. I've had access to this mini loom, so it's been really nice to do little miniature projects this time around. I've been putting them in these shadow boxes, which has been really awesome, and then also working on new necklace designs, which I know have been you guys have really taken to. So that's been really nice. And one great thing about this quarantine, something very positive, is I've been teaching online virtual classes and doing private lessons. So it's really nice to connect with the community that way. I've been working with Brooklyn Craft Company and Craft Jam to do macrame and online weaving courses. So everything from working on macrame wall hangings to doing DIY looms with cardboard, which, believe it or not, is totally possible during this time. For more information, you could check out my website, ebutextiles.com, or you could reach out to me through Instagram as well at IBU_textiles. That's a little update on everything I've been doing. I hope everyone is staying healthy and safe, and I look forward to seeing everybody at the next Queen's Craft Brigade. Bye!
Hi everyone, I am Fernando, and this is Ijapa Arts in Astoria. I am excited to meet you at the next market and sharing my work with you. For my work, I am using seeds, stones, and crystals, all organic materials to make my handmade art. My inspiration comes from Mother Earth and my native roots. Thank you for support the local artist, and see you soon.
I'm the founder of Eddie's Brand. Eddie's Brand was built on strong family values, on the spirit of connection. We make essential garments for babies and toddlers up to 3T that can be passed down to your siblings, to your cousins, to your friends, through grass stains, through first teeth, and through a lot of smiles. The garments are sustainably made with upcycled cotton and recycled plastic buttons.
Hey, all right, those are our videos. I'll be sending out links to everyone who promoted something. That'll go out in an email, so that is something you will get. Right now, I'm gonna start unmuting some of our vendors who are here, and feel free to turn your cameras on if you are here. And say hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you doing, Marissa?
I'm fine. I'm on my second cup of coffee.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, your second beer.
Yeah, I'm on my second beer.
Frank,
Oh,
it's so terrible.
no, it's not.
So great.
Really good.
But I don't know if you can see it. It looks pixely on my end.
So good.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's great. Hi, Sky.
Hey, am I here? Am I working? How's it going?
You're here. It's working. Welcome back, Desiree and Paige.
Hi.
So, Marissa, you are Grl and Co.
I am.
You are responsible for the Queen's Craft Brigade brand identity. You do all of our graphics. You're a dear friend. What have you been up to?
Well, I've been reminiscing about the market today, realizing it's the first time in 3 years we haven't kicked it off.
I know.
that made me super emotional. I'm like also watching all these videos, I've been like tearing up. So I'm trying to hold it together. But I've been, you know, busy in the home studio, very fortunate to have the studio at home, and just trying to make new things based on how I feel and how everyone feels. Support system for everyone.
Yeah, well, I think one of the exciting things that you've been doing lately is you've been working with Madewell, right?
Yeah, working with Madewell I was on a temporary basis, but excited to say that it's now a full-time basis. I don't know. So we'll be releasing a new line with Madewell starting 5/7 and then another small launch on 5/28.
That's awesome. So what does that mean? Like, what does that exactly mean?
That means they have like a marketplace where they carry third-party sellers. So I will be just with them as a third party. You can always get my stuff there. It might be exclusive to Madewell, it might not be. It depends on like how I feel, but I have to release new products every quarter. So that has really changed the way that Grl and Co will run. We will be focusing more on products. We'll be focusing more on launches and getting our community involved to see like what they want and like how people are feeling, because all of our products, you know, are based on emotions, being like a badass human, but also like feeling all the feelings that people might not tell you are okay to feel when they actually are, and they're more powerful when you express them. So just working on like lifting that up on a larger scale is gonna be really exciting.
Yeah. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And Sky, hello.
Hey.
How are you doing?
Good, you know, bunkering it up here in Queens, surviving, thriving. Hey.
So Sky, yeah, tell us a little bit about your art for people who don't know about you.
Sure. I'm Sky of Midnight Sky, I guess, brand. Everything is hand illustrated, and it's on different manifestations of like female empowerment, equality, inner strength, on different housewares like accessories, pillows, greeting cards. Everything's illustrated by me. I get to express like my feeling through these things and share and connect with everybody on similar wavelengths of like when something is going down, like the Women's March, I'll make like art with that and then get to put it out in the world and share it and express it. And so there's a lot of that sort of stuff within my artwork, different like characters and things like that. And it's been a fun exploration of growing my shop and trying out different products and seeing like what people resonates with everybody. And I love Queen's Craft Brigade because you get to like meet everybody, and it's super hard right now being like, man, this was supposed to be a live one. Like we were all supposed to be in the same room together today, but it's so cool that we're doing this like virtually, because that sort of like, I don't know, bounce back and flexibility is what I also love about this. Like everybody's always doing something new, and so excited to be a part of it. So yeah, my art is like my art on different sorts of homeware things.
Yeah. Are you in Astoria too?
I'm in Woodside, so edge of Astoria.
And Marissa, you're in Ridgewood, right?
Yes.
So this is just an open question to everyone, including Paige and Desiree. What are you guys doing to kind of stay healthy and stay sane from a mental health point of view during this quarantine?
Who wants to go first? I can if you want. I have been attending like IG live, like Instagram live meditations and like quick yoga classes to keep like my mental physical state aligned as one. I've been going on my roof a lot and drinking apple cider vinegar. and a lot of water. That helps mentally.
Okay, I guess I'll go. So it's been a little weird for me because recently I just had one of those really not so great days where, you know, you've been indoors for so long and you kind of forget that you can maybe open up a window and go outside and, you know, keep your distance. But, and yeah, so right after that, I went outside, spring was in full bloom, and it just made me feel a little bit better. But also just keeping myself really busy. You know, I think this is the time where we can focus on all those little details where usually we don't have the time to. So it's been a matter of sitting down and kind of making a list and organizing myself and just trying to keep pace. I think that's what's helped me a lot, because when I get really sluggish, that's when my mood tends to kind of go down. So, yeah.
How about you, Paige?
I keep a pretty strict schedule. I just scheduled out my day, not to like every hour, but I have breakfast in the morning and then I work out after breakfast. I usually have a little bit of chill time and then it's work. I'm using this time to develop new products. And then after that, more chill time, you know, either reading a book or on Instagram. And then it's dinner, and then it's movie time. So it's just, it's very simple. I'm also drinking a lot of water, but one thing, Marissa, which I learned, unfortunately, is I was drinking water, but really late at night. So then you're just going to the bathroom like crazy. It's just like, this sucks, but it's good. My skin is starting to look better, but yeah, you know, I hate that. Oh my God, especially when you're in that cozy position. But yeah, it's just been just scheduling and just, I also have rooftop access, so that's good for fresh air, but it's just not just chilling all day. I'll do that maybe one day a week where I'm just a total bum. Yeah, it's just a schedule.
What was the name of that workout person? We watched one of the videos you recommend.
Oh yeah, Dr. Joe.
The stretching, oh my goodness. I memorized the stretches so I don't watch her anymore. Oh, I forgot. She's so weird. It's cool though. Yeah, she's weird. Do you remember Dr. Tony or something?
Dr. Joe.
Dr. Joe with the stretching. Yeah, I memorized her stretching. Huh?
She's got her shirt that says like Super Joe on it, or like Super Dr. Joe.
Yeah, it's for intense stretching for like 20 minutes and then a workout. I think that's been helping.
Yeah. Marissa, what's going on behind you there?
Oh, Lola? That's her box. So Lola is our resident studio cat. She's the only one really allowed in the studio because she manages it. You know, she keeps all the other cats out. She makes sure the plants are okay. And most of all, she reminds me to take screen breaks. So she sits right next to my computers right here. So she sleeps there all day and she'll like wake up and come sit on my lap. And so I have to like stop what I'm doing. Yeah.
You think she wants to be on screen for people to maybe get a close-up view?
I think so, yeah. Come here, Lily.
Oh.
Yay. Oh, she's like, what's going on?
Like,
Let's take a nap.
She hates getting taken out of her box because it's her favorite spot. And when I take her out, she's like, oh, it's bedtime. So here she is with her little thumbs. So it's a sweet girl. So she is the L in Grl.
Aww.
Yeah.
Can't pass up a cat.
Yeah.
I couldn't, 4 times in a row. So
Sky, what are you doing to keep it together these days?
Ooh, I think keeping busy. I'm gonna second that. I also have a big jar of water right here. So hey. I think also something that I'm doing is remembering that it's okay, and I have to remind myself, like, consciously, like, it's okay to laugh at things. Like, I know it's a pandemic out there and we're aware what's going on, we're all doing our part, social distancing, obviously that's the hard part, but like also being like, hey, there's also, I can laugh and watch The Office in the evening or whatever show, you know, because it's easy to be like, how dare I have fun in this, you know? And so I think that's been something, just like having that conversation with myself. And also I've been like using, it's a fun activity to try like every different video platform to like reach your friends, be like, okay, today we're gonna Zoom, tomorrow we're gonna Google Hangout, like let's try all the filters, like just having that sort of like one, connecting with people, not forgetting and remembering that they want to connect with you, because I think it's easy to be like, well, do they want to hear from me? Like, we all are in this together. And so for me, that's been keeping some sanity of trying different platforms, making a game of it, and just staying connected as best I can. Because I keep thinking, not that it's ever a good time for a pandemic, this is devastating, but 2020, we have the most like resources for connection to date. So at least we can like utilize those. And that's something keeping me sane, because I'm not super great at a routine. I like flit around. Like I found like a harmonica in my house when I was cleaning. I was like, I guess today's about the harmonica. And like, I don't play an instrument. So like, more just like at random having fun and things.
That's amazing. I love it. Well, be sure to post some videos of you playing the harmonica if that works.
My God. It's like jail vibes. I'm really like feeling it. I gotta go for it.
Carla, hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Robert. Hi, everyone. How are you guys?
Hey.
Carla, today would have been the first time you did a market with us.
Yeah, it would have been, yeah. That's okay.
Thanks for making that video. Do you want to just kind of restate what you make and how you started your company?
Yeah, sure. So I have a children's wear company. My video was the last one, if you guys were all watching, Eddie's brand, the children's wear company. And I make it all in Queens. Actually, I do have some contract knitters that work in Brooklyn, but it's mostly made in New York City. And I use recycled cotton, which is secondhand sweaters that are unraveled, and then reknit into the new garments, and recycled plastic buttons. So they're 3D printed with recycled plastic filament that is remade into buttons. So the idea is really low waste, reusing the things that we have and creating new garments, just creating something new and something essential that the idea really is to wear it over and over and to pass it down. So the styles are really simple. It's like simple pullovers and simple leggings that are easy to put on and easy to take off, easy to take care of. So they're all 100% cotton. Since they're secondhand, you've kind of already gone through a lot of washing, so you can throw it in hot water if it gets stained. So yeah, that's kind of the idea behind Eddie's brand. And my why.
Who's Eddie?
I did a podcast about it, so maybe I'll share that with you. But I worked in fashion for at least 10 years before I started Eddie's, and it was just a lot of waste that I saw. And I do love fashion and I love knitting and it's what I do, but I had to find a way to not make it wasteful. So, you know, reusing materials, trying to do everything in a close environment. The yarns come from Virginia. Most of the production is done within New York City. So it's kind of like keeping it focused here. Right now I'm focused on shipping only within the United States. Just so that I can use USPS and like keep it simple. Like they're going to everybody's door anyway, right? So how can we utilize that? So it's kind of where it started.
How long have you been doing it?
I started working on it about 2.5 years ago. I didn't really know anything about sustainability or fair trade, so I had to kind of do some research and meet the people that are working towards that. And then I started selling in August. So I did a few markets for the holidays where I met a lot of customers and I met a lot of local artisans, and I was like, this is really fun. I need to keep doing this, just meeting people and talking to them about product. And that's kind of how I found you guys at the Queen's Craft Brigade. I was really excited to keep it going. But kind of we're here now and we're all stuck at home. So I'm looking always for new ways to reach people and to talk to people. And yeah, so here we are on my favorite Zoom. It's become my favorite app.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks for joining in. I think we'll kind of end this with a last minute, just a pitch from everyone. If you want to share links or things you should know, I'll also be sending an email to everyone who tuned in with all of the links as well, but it's always fun to hear it from the person. We're going to start in the order of my Zoom. So Sky, you are first.
All right. You can find me on Instagram. That's where I put a lot of my like latest things and the art I make. So that's at midnight_sky. And I am right now making new prints of new artwork. A lot of the stuff I'm doing right now is very coronavirus centric because it's the world we're living in and it's what's going on in my brain. I have this is totally gross prototype, but I'm making masks that are going to have artwork on them. So I'm going to be putting those out in the shop soon, as well as other prints and things like that. And postcards to send to loved ones, because that's something that I've been doing. So you can find me on Instagram. I also have a store, midnightsky.co online, but Insta is where I put the updates.
Cool. Thank you. All right, Desiree, you're next.
Yeah, so I guess, first of all, thank you for this opportunity. It's been so fun, and I love seeing everyone checking in and making sure that everyone's healthy and safe. So yeah, if you guys want to shop for handcrafted soaps, bath bombs, bath accessories, LeilaSuds.com is the website. At Leila Suds Soaps is the Instagram, the best place to keep up with what's going on, new collections, and things like that. And if you're local to Astoria, send me a message via Instagram. And I do have a pickup code, contactless pickup, if you prefer that, or if you prefer shipping. Everyone has their preferences to keep safe. And yeah, I'm so excited for this, and I hope that we can get through it and see everyone's actual faces sometime soon. But for now, we just got to stay home.
Thank you. All right, Carla, you're next.
Okay, so you guys can find me on Instagram, Eddys, EDDYS_brand, eddysbrand.com. And I'll share some links. Right now I have two things that I was working on. One is a lot of homeschool help, especially focused in New York City. Tons of links for homework and for virtual field trips. If you guys want to go to museums, there's some really cool 3D apps out there. And within 30 miles of New York City, if you guys need some garments for your kids, within 30 miles, we can do a drop off if that's helpful to you. So yeah, just find me on Instagram or online. We're here.
Cool. Thanks, Carla. All right, Marissa and your cat, you're next.
Marissa and Lola. Sorry. I just want to thank everyone, our community, for watching this, for participating. I miss all of you, and I wish that I could be in person, standing on the chairs and clapping before our markets start. I just miss everyone. You can find me on Instagram at Grl and _Co. I'm still shipping. I'm still operating safely. I also want to, thank you to everyone who's participating in social distancing. It's so important for not only yourself, but your family members and just our community in general, even if you don't know them. That's showing a lot of empathy, and I really appreciate it. And just thank you to all the healthcare workers, the grocery workers, everyone who's deemed essential and non-essential. You all matter. So, and all of you have been supporting me during this time, and I so greatly appreciate it. And yeah, that's it. I'll be here.
Thanks, Marissa, and thanks for all the graphics you made for this event that we kind of put together really quick.
Always.
All right, last but not least, Paige, what's up?
Okay, so where can you find me? Online, pagescanaco.com. excuse me, I'm also on Etsy, Pages Candle Co. If you're in the Astoria area, there's the Brass Owl or in Casa Decor. If you're in Ridgewood, Queens, Stay Forever. Yeah, I really enjoy seeing everyone, and I really appreciate everyone who's been ordering and just been super cool during this time. So thank you to everyone.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks to all of you guys. Thanks to Frank Ape, the Crafty Lumberjacks, Netta Feta, who helped with the social media, Ruthie, who helped with all the Q&A. So many people, all the vendors who made the videos. I think we'll do another one of these in May, but we'll post all the videos of this throughout the week, and we'll see how it goes. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you.
So much.
All right, be safe. Bye.
Bye. Bye.